The village of Khamadi holds its breath, every heartbeat synchronized with the silence that now grips the land. It is a silence thick with expectation, the air heavy with an ancient unease that had once been forgotten, but now claws at the edges of the village. Every eye is turned toward the path leading to the village, as if the very earth itself waits for the figure to emerge from the dust. There is no wind, no birdsong, just the oppressive quiet, like the calm before a storm. A figure appears at the edge of the village. She is cloaked in white, a color that both mourns and promises rebirth. Adama, the woman of whispered legends, steps into the village square. Her eyes, dark and unreadable, scan the crowd. The villagers stir, murmurs spreading quickly from one face to another. Whispers of the bracelet, of the curse that it carries, flare up once more. The stories have always lingered at the edges of their thoughts, but now they return with a vengeance. She is the one who wears it. She does not speak as she walks through the village. Her presence commands the space around her, the tension thickening with each step she takes. No one dares approach her. They can only watch, some in fear, others with curiosity. At the center of the square, she stops before the Chief Lungu. His eyes lock with hers, filled with concern and hesitation, but he does not speak immediately. The bracelet on her wrist gleams in the midday sun, a simple silver band, but one with a history that chills the soul. "I've come to end the curse," Adama declares, her voice steady but carrying the weight of something deeper. "The suffering must end. I will not let another woman disappear." Lungu's brow furrows, the village's secret fears rising in him. "Adama," he warns, his voice rough. "Once you begin this path, there is no turning back. You will unleash what has been sealed away for generations." She does not flinch. Her hand rests on the bracelet, a silent promise of the determination that fuels her. "I will find out what happens after the 7th day. The truth must be uncovered, no matter the cost." The village holds its breath again. The bracelet, the same one her mother had worn before disappearing into the shadows of history, is now her burden to carry. There are no answers yet, only the heavy weight of what she might uncover. And still, she stands resolute. She has made her choice, and nothing can change that now. Lungu steps back, the old fear in his eyes mixing with the unease that now spreads through the villagers. He knows that the legend of the bracelet is not just a story, it is a curse, a trap that has claimed more lives than they dare to count. He turns to the gathered elders who exchange glances heavy with the knowledge that their time of quiet resistance is coming to an end. "What if the bracelet is the key?" Adama asks, her voice cutting through the tension. "What if it is not just a curse, but a doorway to something greater? We cannot keep hiding from it." Khamadi's elders look at her with narrowed eyes, their gazes hard as the dried clay of their homes. There is no easy answer, no simple road that will free them from the weight of the past. The bracelet is both a symbol and a punishment, a test of power, a test of will. And yet, the bracelet's hold on Adama is undeniable. Every day since she first put it on, it has grown heavier. There is something pulling her forward, urging her to break the boundaries of what she knows. Her mind is consumed with the thought of what lies beyond the 7th day, the knowledge that could unravel everything or destroy it all. The villagers gather around her, some curious, some fearful, some hopeful. They all know the stories of the women who vanished after wearing the bracelet, of the whispers of power, of the spirits trapped inside it. It is an ancient power, a force that has bound itself to the land, to the people, to the river. But what does it truly want, and who will be the one to set it free? Adama's eyes narrow as she addresses the crowd once more. "This is not a curse. It is a choice. I will face whatever comes. No more fear. No more waiting for the unknown to destroy us." The village square remains silent, as if the earth itself is holding its breath. Each person feels the weight of her words, some with relief, some with fear, but Adama is unwavering. She must know what lies beyond the 7th day, even if it costs her everything. The moment stretches on, and Adama feels the pulse of the bracelet, the power and the pull that tugs at her very soul. The truth awaits, but the cost is rising with every second. And so, with a final breath, the first step is taken. What happens next will either end the curse or destroy them all. The sun beats down on Khamadi, its unforgiving rays stretching across the cracked earth, where the people toil under the weight of generations. The village, nestled in the embrace of the land, hums with ancient rhythms, a place where tradition reigns supreme. But beneath its calm surface, something stirs, a deep-seated fear, whispered in the wind, hidden in the shadows of the acacia trees. The village may look peaceful, but every soul feels the tension in the air. The elders speak of it in hushed tones, the legend of the bracelet. The villagers move quietly, as if the land itself is holding its breath. At the heart of Khamadi stands the shrine, a place of mystery and power. Nestled by the sacred river, it is a site of reverence, but also of dread. In the depths of its stone, the origins of the cursed bracelet lie, a dark relic forged from the bones of a fallen king, bound to the land with a dark magic. The shrine holds the secret to the village's greatest fear and its greatest hope. Only a few know the full story, but all have heard the whispers. The bracelet claims those who wear it, pulling them into the depths of the river, leaving no trace behind. Adama stands at the threshold of the shrine, her heart heavy with the knowledge of what awaits. She knows the bracelet's history, its power, and its price. It is no myth. It is a curse that has taken her mother, Amina. Amina had worn the bracelet once, hoping to break the curse, and disappeared in the process. The village had mourned, and the bracelet was locked away. But for Adama, it was never just a story, it was a legacy. Her mother's disappearance was never fully explained, but Adama has always believed that the truth lies within the bracelet. Now it is hers to unlock. In the quiet of her home, Adama's father, Darius, watches his daughter with a growing unease. She is restless, driven by something he cannot understand. The bond between them is strained. He has always tried to protect her, to shield her from the painful truths of their past. But Adama is determined. She will not let the past stay buried. The weight of her mother's disappearance pulls her forward, pushing her to uncover the secrets of the bracelet, even if it means defying everything she knows. Darius speaks softly, the words thick with concern. Adama, the bracelet is cursed. Your mother, she paid the price. You must not follow in her footsteps. Adama's eyes harden, her resolve unwavering. I have to know. Why did she vanish? What is the truth behind the bracelet? Her father shakes, his head, fear in his eyes. Some things are better left unknown, but Adama cannot stop. She will not rest until she understands the force that took her mother. One evening, as the sun dips below the horizon, Kofi, a childhood friend, comes to visit. He has always been curious, always willing to question the stories the village tells. He looks at Adama with concern, his voice urgent. Adama, you cannot keep going down this path. You don't know what you're inviting. Adama stands firm, the bracelet now resting against her skin, its cold touch both reassuring and chilling. I have to. I need to know why every woman who wears it disappears. What happened to my mother? Kofi's face tightens, the weight of her words settling between them. The bracelet is a curse, Adama. It binds those who wear it to something dark, something beyond our understanding. Adama's voice is steady, but her eyes burn with determination. I can't stop now, Kofi. I have nothing left to lose. Kofi steps back, helpless. He wants to save her, to warn her, but he knows that Adama's mind is made up. The bracelet has claimed her, and there is no turning back. As the days slip by, the seventh day draws nearer. The tension grows unbearable. Adama knows that time is running out, that the answers she seeks lie just beyond her grasp. Every step she takes feels like a step closer to something she cannot control. Her thoughts are consumed by the bracelet, by the power it holds, and the truth that lies hidden within it. The village watches her every move, some with dread, others with hope. What will happen when the seventh day arrives? The weight of her choices presses down on her. She has walked this path alone, and there is no one to guide her. The bracelet has already begun to change her, to pull her into its web. The truth is within reach, but so is the cost. She cannot stop now. She will face whatever comes, even if it means losing everything. The night before the 7th day, Kofi visits again, this time with a warning that cuts deeper than before. Adama, he says, his voice thick with fear. The bracelet is not just a power, it is a trap. It binds you to the spirits of the past, those who were consumed by their own greed and ambition. Your mother was trying to free them, and they took her. Don't make the same mistake. Adama's breath catches. The truth hits her like a thunderclap. The bracelet doesn't just claim the wearer, it traps them. The spirits of the past, those who sought power and lost themselves in it, are waiting, bound to the bracelet, waiting to claim another soul. But it is too late. The 7th day is here. The village holds its breath once more, as if the land itself is waiting to see what happens next. Adama stands before the villagers, the bracelet gleaming in the fading light. Her heart races, but her voice is steady. I have come to end the curse, she declares. I will face whatever comes. No more fear, no more hiding from the truth. The villagers stare, their faces a mixture of hope and fear. They know the legend, they know the cost, but they also know that Adama's resolve is unbreakable. The truth must be uncovered, even if it means paying the price. The moon rises high, casting its light over the village, and the earth begins to tremble. A distant wail echoes through the trees, and the river swells with unseen forces. The bracelet pulls at Adama, its power growing stronger with each passing second. The ground beneath her feet shifts, as if the very earth is giving way to something ancient, something terrible. And as the 7th day reaches its end, Adama realizes the truth. The bracelet was never just a curse. It was the price. The 7th day looms ever closer, and Adama can feel it, the weight of the bracelet growing heavier with each passing moment. She tries to go about her day, but nothing feels the same. The villagers speak to her, but their words sound hollow. She carries the bracelet like a secret, hiding it beneath the folds of her clothing, but it's always there, burning against her skin, pulling at her resolve. No one understands. Not even her father. He sees the change in her, but he remains silent, unwilling to confront the path she's chosen. Adama is consumed by the need to know, to unlock the power that the bracelet promises. She tells herself that it's for the good of the village that breaking the curse will bring peace. But deep down, she feels the pull of something darker. The bracelet has begun to reveal its true nature to her. Kofi approaches her one evening, his face tight with worry. Adama, please, you cannot keep doing this. The bracelet, it's taking you. You saw what happened to your mother. You're heading down the same path. Adama doesn't look at him. Her eyes remain fixed on the distant horizon, where the river runs wild, its waters restless and churning. I have to finish this, Kofi. I can't stop now. You don't know what you're dealing with, Kofi insists, his voice trembling with fear. The bracelet isn't just a curse. It's a power, a force we don't understand. If you go through with this, you might not come back. Your mother didn't. Adama turns to face him now, her voice steady but laced with something cold. Then I will be the one to break it. I won't let fear stop me. Kofi opens his mouth to protest, but no words come. He can see the determination in her eyes, the resolve that has gripped her, and he knows it's useless to try and stop her. He steps back, watching helplessly as she walks away, deeper into the grip of the bracelet. Meanwhile, word has spread. The elders speak in hushed tones, their faces tight with concern. Lungu, the village chief, stands before them, his hands clasped together in thought. He knows that Adama is no longer the same. The bracelet has changed her, and with every passing day, she grows more distant from the woman they once knew. The power she now holds is dangerous. He can feel it, the shifting energy in the air. It must be stopped, Lungu mutters to the gathered elders. The bracelet is not a tool, it is a curse, and it will consume her if we do not act. But the elders hesitate. Some whisper that it may already be too late. Others wonder if Adama can unlock the bracelet's true power, if it could be something more than they fear. Lungu knows only one thing. The balance has shifted, and with it, the village's fate hangs in the balance. The days slip by, and the river begins to change. What was once calm now churns with unnatural force, its waters swirling with an energy that no one can explain. Animals that once roamed the village calmly now act erratically, darting from shadows with eyes wild and fearful. The villagers whisper among themselves, their anxieties growing with each passing hour. They can feel it too, the shift in the air, the sense that something is wrong. The seventh day is coming, and they are not ready for whatever it will bring. The village braces for what they fear is an inevitable end. Adama remains locked in her pursuit. She walks the village, but her thoughts are consumed with the bracelet. The river calls to her. The power within it is like a fire in her chest, and she knows that soon, very soon, she will be forced to confront it. Kofi, unable to bear it any longer, sneaks out under the cover of night, determined to stop her before it's too late. His feet carry him to the shrine by the river, the place where it all began. The darkness presses in around him, thick with secrets and things better left forgotten. At the shrine, he uncovers something, an old journal, hidden deep within the stone. Its pages are yellowed, fragile, but the words within are clear. The bracelet does not grant power, it binds the soul to the spirits of the past, those who sought power and were consumed by it. Beware the seventh day, it is the price. Kofi's heart races. This is the truth. The bracelet does not grant power, it takes it. It traps the wearer, consuming their spirit and binding them to the ancient forces that remain locked away in the river. The seventh day is not an opportunity. It is a test, a trap. He must warn her. His footsteps echo in the night as he races back to the village, the truth now burning in his chest. He knows there is little time left. The seventh day is almost here. The seventh day has arrived. The wind howls through the village, a restless force that seems to echo the unease in the air. Adama stands at the center, her figure cloaked in shadows, cast by the dying sun, but the bracelet on her wrist gleams, an unholy light cutting through the growing dusk. Every eye in the village is on her, watching, waiting. The tension is thick, almost unbearable. The villagers can feel it. Something is about to happen, and none of them know if they're ready. The bracelet pulls at her, heavy with the power of the unknown. Adama's gaze remains fixed ahead, unwavering. She doesn't flinch as the wind picks up around her. She is ready for whatever comes, no matter the cost. She's chosen this path, and nothing can turn her back now. Lungu stands at the edge of the crowd, his face grim. His hands are clasped tightly in front of him, but his eyes betray a deep fear. The villagers behind him shift uneasily, murmuring among themselves. The air is filled with the weight of anticipation, a fear that can only grow stronger as the hour approaches. Kofi, frantic and full of dread, pushes through the crowd. His heart races, and his breath comes in quick gasps as he makes his way to Adama. Adama, please. His voice cracks, desperation lacing each word. You don't know what you're doing. I've seen the truth. It's not just a curse. Adama doesn't move, but her eyes meet his, and for a moment there's a flicker of doubt in her gaze. I'm not afraid, she says, her voice steady, but her hands trembling slightly. This is the only way. Kofi, holding a worn journal in his hands, forces it into her grip. Your mother didn't disappear because of the bracelet. She sought to free the spirits it holds, but they took her. It's a prison, Adama, not a power. The words strike like lightning. Adama's breath catches in her chest. Her heart pounds in her ears, and for the first time, she falters. What do you mean? She whispers, almost to herself, as the full weight of the revelation sinks in. She didn't just vanish? No, Kofi says, his voice tight with emotion. She was taken because she tried to free them. The spirits trapped in the bracelet, the ones who were consumed by their own greed and ambition. Your mother was one of them. Adama stares at him, the truth dawning on her. The bracelet has never been about power, it has always been about control. Control over the spirits of the past, trapped within its cursed metal. She tightens her grip on the bracelet, feeling the pull of the past close in around her. The ground beneath them begins to tremble. A low rumble, like the earth itself is shaking with the weight of the spirits being awakened. The full moon rises, high, casting its eerie glow over the village, and the air grows cold, sharp with a presence none can deny. The river, once calm and steady, now churns violently, as if something beneath the surface is awakening. Adama clutches the bracelet tightly, her breath shallow. The realization hits her like a storm. This was never about power. The bracelet is not a gift. It is a prison, holding the spirits of those who sought more than they could control. Her mother's fate was sealed the moment she tried to free them. And now, Adama is bound to the same fate. The world shifts. She can feel it. The pull, the weight of the bracelet's curse, tightening around her heart. The bracelet's grip grows stronger with every breath she takes, and she knows now that there is no escape. She has made her choice, but it's not the one she thought she was making. The villagers gasp as a loud, chilling wail echoes from the river. It is a sound like nothing they have ever heard before, a cry from beyond, from the spirits that now stir, restless and vengeful. The air crackles with energy, dark and foreboding, and Adama feels herself being drawn toward the river. She steps forward, her body no longer her own, her mind consumed with the reality of what she's unleashed. With a final haunting cry, the river swells, and Adama is pulled into the grip of the bracelet. Her body stiffens as the spirits claim her, their power overwhelming, and she realizes the true cost of her decision. It was never just the bracelet, it was her soul. Adama is gone, her absence a deep wound in the heart of the village. Her name is spoken only in whispers now, a reminder of the power that claimed her, of the choice she made and the price she paid. The village, once full of laughter and life, now stands in the shadow of that loss, each person feeling the weight of it in their bones. The air feels heavier, the land quieter, as though even the earth itself mourns. Where once there was hope, now there is only silence. Adama's disappearance marks the end of an era, the beginning of a new and uncertain reality. The villagers, once unified by the hope that the curse might be lifted, now find themselves fractured, divided by fear and grief. Her choice has left a void, and no one knows how to fill it. The bracelet, now powerless and abandoned, lies at the center of the village. Its once gleaming surface is dull, but the darkness that lingers in its presence is undeniable. It rests there, as if it has its own gravity, pulling the villagers into its web. No one dares to touch it, for fear of what it might still hold, fear of what it might do. The history of the bracelet is too dangerous to forget, and though its power has faded, its grip on the village remains. Kofi stands before the bracelet, his heart heavy with the weight of his new role. He has stepped into a leadership position by default, forced to guide the village through the aftermath of Adama's fate. He did not ask for this responsibility, but it has been thrust upon him. The villagers look to him for answers, but there are no easy answers to give. He knows the truth of the bracelet, knows the danger it brought, but he also knows that he must lead the people forward, even if it means carrying the burden alone. Every day, he works to rebuild the village, fixing what was broken, mending the wounds left behind by Adama's disappearance. But there are no simple repairs. The village is scarred, both physically and emotionally, and no amount of rebuilding can undo the damage done. Kofi watches the people as they go about their work, their eyes haunted by the memory of what happened, their hearts burdened by the lessons learned too late. The weight of Adama's fate hangs over him, a constant reminder that seeking knowledge without understanding can bring destruction. The village has learned the hard way that the pursuit of power, of answers, can lead to terrible consequences. Kofi himself has seen the cost of truth, how it can free or destroy, how it can change everything. The truth of the bracelet, the Thaw. Power it held, has been revealed, but it has come at a price. The villagers gather around Kofi, their faces weary, their eyes tired but filled with a glimmer of hope. They speak in quiet tones, sharing their fears, their concerns, and their hopes for the future. The lessons they have learned are not easy ones, but they are lessons nonetheless. They understand now that the pursuit of knowledge must be tempered. By wisdom, that power without understanding is a dangerous thing, and so they begin again. The work of rebuilding is slow, but it is steady. Kofi leads them, though the path ahead is uncertain. The village is scarred, but it is not broken. There is a new beginning here, one born from the ashes of what has passed. The people move forward, carrying the lessons of the past with them, determined to face the future with caution and respect for the power they now understand. As the sun sets on the village, there's a sense of quiet resilience. The past cannot be undone, but the future is still theirs to shape. They have learned the cost of truth, the price of knowledge, and they will not forget. They are scarred, but they are wiser. The village of Khamadi, though forever changed, begins to rebuild, piece by piece, with the lessons of the past shaping every decision they make. The village is quieter now. The weight of Adama's disappearance has settled heavily on every soul in Khamadi. Her pursuit of knowledge, of the unknown, has left behind not just an empty space, but a lesson that cuts deep. The story of her sacrifice, of her search for power, beyond comprehension, is whispered in every corner. The villagers, now aware of the consequences of unchecked ambition, know that Adama's fate is a harsh reminder. Knowledge without wisdom is a dangerous thing. One by one, the villagers gather to reflect on what has happened. Their eyes are heavy with the burden of what they have lost. They knew the bracelet was powerful, but none had understood the price it demanded. Adama thought she could control it, but in the end, the bracelet consumed her, taking her to a place where no one could follow. Her story is told now as a warning, one that echoes through the generations. The power of the bracelet was not a gift. It was a trap, a force that could not be controlled, no matter how much one sought to understand it. The bracelet's pull was too strong, and Adama paid the ultimate price for seeking its truth. The village has learned, but at what cost? They now understand that the pursuit of power can be all-consuming, that the price for knowledge is sometimes too steep. What Adama learned too late, they now grasp with clarity. But even in their grief, there is something deeper, something that stirs in their hearts. It is the knowledge that they must rebuild, not just their village, but their lives, their way of thinking. Kofi stands at the heart of the village, watching the people work. The weight of leadership presses on him. He never wanted this, but now, it is his responsibility to guide them through the aftermath. Every brick laid, every field replanted, is a step toward recovery, but the shadow of what happened hangs over them all. They rebuild not just structures, but their very understanding of what it means to seek power, to desire knowledge. The lessons of Adama's journey will shape every decision they make moving forward. The village is different now. The once lively heart of Khamadi is now tempered with caution. There is no rush to conquer the unknown. The pursuit of wisdom has taken a different shape, one that requires patience, humility, and balance. The villagers know now that they must guard against the temptation of unchecked ambition. The bracelet, with all its promises, is a reminder that seeking knowledge is a journey that must be walked carefully, with wisdom as the guiding force. And so, they move forward. They have lost much, but they have gained something invaluable. The lesson is clear. Power is not to be taken lightly, and the pursuit of truth must never come at the cost of everything else. The village, once broken, now stands united, stronger for the lessons they have learned. But they know in the deepest parts of their hearts that the path forward must be different. They will guard against the past, keeping the lessons of Adama close, for in them lies the strength to rebuild, not just their village, but their future.